Hey, Algebra 2 Trig, we're doing 10.1 parabolas. My central question is, how do I sketch a parabola, directrix, and the focus? Example 1 is sketch y equals negative 1/2 x squared minus x plus 1/2. But before you start, you need to write down these notes. Okay, this is a parabola, and I'm sure you graphed parabolas before, but we're going to add a couple things to the parabola. We're going to add a focus and a directrix. And the reason why is because this is how parabolas are created. If I had a string, let's say I had a string and it was this long, I take it from the focus, I hit the parabola, and I make it perpendicular to the directrix. And these two distances are equal. That's what makes a parabola. So again, I'll take that same string, and then I'll make another one, same distance from the focus to the parabola, and then straight down, perpendicular to the directrix. So the directrix that we're going to graph is going to be a line, and then we're going to graph a focus, and we're going to graph an actual parabola. Okay? Here is the equation, so go ahead and write that down. You'll have two of them, and then if it's x, if you notice one of them x is being squared, and one of them y is being squared. If x is being squared, it means your parabola is going to go up or down, and if y is being squared, it means your parabola is going to go left or right. And then the value p will determine whether it's going left or right or up or down, and I'll explain that in this. So also write down this. Okay, so the parabola is facing up, and it says p is greater than 0. That's how I know. So x is being squared. That's why my parabola is going up. And then p is greater than 0. That's why it's going up. Okay? It's going to go, your parabola is going to go down when p is less than 0. So when it's negative, meaning there's going to be a negative sign somewhere around here. Okay? And then the last two graphs, go ahead and write these down. It's y is being squared. And if p is greater than 0, it's going to go right. And if p is less than 0, it's going to go left. Okay, and I'll show you all that in hopefully one example. Okay, so a lot like your circle, we're going to have to complete the square. So let's start. So right now, it doesn't look like anything, but I do realize that the x is being squared. So somehow my goal is probably, since my x is being squared, it's probably going to either face up or down. So it's going to be x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. So that's my goal. Okay, I need to make it look like that. And what I'll do is I will complete the square by doing that. Okay, so number one, probably going to move this over. So I'm going to subtract 1/2. Okay, so if I subtract 1/2 from both sides, I'll have y minus 1/2 equals negative 1/2 x squared minus x. Okay, I don't want to deal with any fractions, so I'm probably going to get the 2. And I probably want the coefficient of x squared to be positive. So let's multiply the whole equation by negative 2. So if I do that, I'll get negative 2y plus 1 equals x squared plus 2x. Okay, so now it looks like I'm getting a little bit closer. Again, I want to complete the square for the x. So if I'm going to add b over 2 squared. Since b is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1. And again, if I add 1 to this side, I'm going to add 1 to this side. Okay? So I've added 1 to both sides. Now I'm going to factor. So the right side factors into x plus 1 squared. And then I have negative 2y plus 2. All right, I'm getting closer. I have my binomial right here. Okay, so I just have to somehow make it look like this so I can figure out what 4p is. So I'm going to factor something out and turn that into a parenthesis. So I'm going to factor out a negative 2. So if I factor out negative 2, it would be y minus 1. Okay? And then if you want to flip these so it looks exactly like this, that's fine too. So let's do that. So x plus 1 squared equals negative 2y minus 1. Okay, so now I have it in the form that I want. And I'm just going to write it under so I can kind of see that it's pretty close. And there's a reason why I'm doing this. Okay, so if you notice, it's very important to notice, I need to find the value of p. So the way I'm going to do that, if you look, everything's lined up. And if you look, when I line it up, negative 2 and 4p are equal to each other. Okay? So in order to find p, I'm always going to set 4p equal to that value outside of that parentheses. So 4p is going to equal negative 2. I'm going to solve for p, and p is going to be negative 1/2. Okay, so now I have everything I need to sketch it. Okay? So just like your circle, h comma k is your vertex. So the vertex is at h comma k. So the vertex is going to be at negative 1, 1. Okay? And then the only thing I have to know, it's x squared, and since p is negative, that means it's going to be a parabola facing down. And then p is actually the distance from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix. Okay, so let's go ahead and sketch it. Alright, so negative 1, 1 is the vertex, so negative 1, 1, it's just a quick sketch, no big deal. Okay, and then I know it's a parabola facing down. P is negative 1/2. So again, P is the distance from the vertex. This is the vertex to the focus and the direction. So I'm going to go 1/2 up and 1/2 down. Okay, and since I know my parabola is facing down, my focus is inside the parabola, and the directrix is going to run this way. Okay, so let's label all the spots. So the vertex is at negative 1, 1. Okay, the focus is going to be at negative 1, comma, and then I went 1/2 down. So if I went 1/2 down, now it's at 1/2. Okay, and then the directrix is a line. So remember, a horizontal line is y equals something. So the directrix is y equals, and then again it's 1/2 up from 1, so y equals 3/2, because 1/2 plus 1 is 3/2. Okay, so those are all the parts of a parabola, and then if you have any questions, go ahead and write it down and we will go over it tomorrow.